Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Sherwin and welcome to this video. And in this video, I wanted to talk about Tesla winter tips. If you aren't aware, Tesla does offer the owner's manual available online. If you haven't checked it out, you should go check it out. It's pretty interesting. So that's what this video is going to be about. I'm just going to go over the stuff that I saw online, and also I'm going to share some things that I've experienced while driving our Tesla during the colder months, the colder temperatures. Now, bear in mind, in California, we don't have the regular winters. Our winter is kind of like fall in many other places, but it does get pretty cold, at least for California standards. So excuse my voice, I'm losing it a little bit, but let's get to it. The first one I wanted to go over is that your battery, your car's battery, needs to run at a certain temperature. And in order for it to do that, your car will be using its own battery to keep that battery at a certain temperature. So keep that in mind. One example I can share with you is we took a trip to Las Vegas a few weeks ago. And if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. So we stayed in Las Vegas for a few nights, and we just kept the car parked at the valet for a few nights. And what happened during those few nights is it surprised me. Basically, what happened in those couple of nights while it was just sitting there is it used up 18% of the battery to keep the battery at a certain temperature. 18% is about 64 to 65 miles. And the reason why it does that is because the car has to always be ready to be driven. So that's why the temperature of the battery has to be at a certain temperature. The overnight temperatures while we were in Vegas floated around 37 degrees Fahrenheit. So when not in use, if it's possible, it's best to keep the car plugged in. That way it's just gonna pull from the wall or the power grid to keep that battery at a certain temperature, rather than use its own battery to keep itself warm. Now, you may not have that luxury all the time, like we didn't have it because we were parked in the parking lot and we didn't have access to the car, so we couldn't plug anywhere. So just be sure that if you are going to be parked in valet or you don't have access to a wall outlet, that before you get to your destination, make sure you arrive at a higher state of charge. So the next thing I wanted to go over and share with y'all is the defrosting feature of your car. Defrosting your car will do several things. So it could melt snow, ice, and frost on the windshield, the windows, and mirrors. It's a good idea to also put your wipers in service mode. This will raise your wipers up slightly, enough so that it could benefit from the windshield being heated up. So at the same time, it's gonna heat up your wipers as well. If you are expecting cold temperatures overnight or while you're parked, you may not want to fold your side mirrors in, just keep them out. Defrosting can also help your charge port latch. If it's frozen, it'll be part of the defrosting process. If the battery temps are low, this will warm up the battery as well. This can also initiate the preconditioning if you need to go and supercharge your battery. So defrosting does a lot of stuff. So I started doing this because I barely read this part of the manual. And this morning, before I went to go supercharge the car and get breakfast, I went ahead and turned on the defrosting mode in the car. It's pretty loud. So that brings me to the next tip. If you are going to supercharge, it's a good idea to use your GPS and enter the location of the supercharger that you're going to be visiting. Even though you know where it is, by entering the location of the supercharger in your GPS, it does initiate the preconditioning of the battery, so it also helps. So preconditioning, it prepares the battery for supercharging. If the battery is too cold when you start supercharging, it may slow down the speeds in order to protect the battery. Your battery can't accept all that energy in its current condition if it's like too cold. So you may have to spend longer times at the charging station. In the app, there are several indicators that may tell you if your batteries are not conditioned to supercharge at the regular speed. So one of them is these squiggly lines, or the bacon strip lines. It's like an orange color. that'll appear on the top left of your screen. The second is a yellow exclamation mark next to the charging speed. And the third is a message about battery temperatures being low. So this next one, I didn't even know until I looked at the manual. See, you got to look at the manual. But the manual states that the seat heaters will actually use less energy than your cabin heaters. I did not know that. So, but the weird thing is, you can't turn off the fans if you're gonna have your seat heaters turned on. Now, we are supposed to be getting this holiday update, so that might be part of it, where you could turn off the fans but still have access to your seat heaters. But at this time, you have to have the temperatures on, or your heaters on, in order to gain access to the seat heaters. So I don't know how that's gonna work, but I did not know that. Very interesting. Okay, so the next one is Regen braking. It may not be available or is limited. You can tell if there are dots on the Regen bar. Depending on what firmware version your car is running, different things may happen. So if you're at an older firmware, then the car may not slow down, and you yourself have to put pressure on the brake pedal to slow down. In newer firmware versions, the brakes can be applied instead of Regen braking. You can find this option in the settings. So the next one is about tires. Now in California, we have all-season tires. Like I said, our winters are not as bad as other places. So in other places, you may have a set for winter and you may have a set for summer. I don't have too much experience regarding swapping out tires because I'm always using all-season tires. But I wanted to mention that the tire pressure does get low in lower temperatures. I think in the manual it's like 1 pound per 10 degrees or something like that. But just keep an eye out on that. If you're not aware, your Tesla should have TPMS, tire pressure management system. So always just be on the lookout for any warnings that your tire pressure is too low. Bear in mind that you do have temperatures while at rest, and you also have temperatures while you are using the car, because as you're using the car, the temperatures go up in your tires. So just know the temperature differences between while it's just sitting there versus while you're driving. But you may want to have like a battery operated air compressor. The one I have is a Ryobi, and I've shared with it a few times in previous videos. I can have links in the videos below if you want to go check one out. But have one. Otherwise, you're gonna have an EV going to a gas station and putting air in your tires. I don't know about you, but I mean, that's one of the big reasons why I got an EV, is just to avoid the gas station. I don't even buy lotto tickets anymore, unless it's $1 billion, you know. But I don't go to gas stations, and if I can help it, I don't want to. So this next one, I'm not too familiar with it, but they do mention of a blue snowflake notification. I've never experienced it, but I guess it indicates that your battery is too cold, so be on the lookout for that. I've never experienced it. Again, California winter isn't as bad as other locations are, so be on the lookout for that. So here's another thing I didn't know about, but according to the online manual, all Tesla cars have ice braking features for doors. I'm gonna link all that stuff down in the description below, so go check that out. But there's even, I believe, like a animated GIF that tells you how to set it up in your shortcuts for the app. But go and check that out. I didn't even know that. But again, I never had to use it because our temperatures don't go low enough for me to use it. But that's pretty cool. I mean, what if we end up going on a trip where winter is worse than where we're normally at? So, but that's a nice feature to know. So that's really about it. I wanted to do this video again because I went over the manual and some very interesting stuff. If you're like me, I ignored the manuals, and but you should really spend some time. But a lot of stuff I didn't even know. I mean, we've had a Tesla since 2019, so 3 years, more than 3 years already. And some of these things I didn't even know. So hopefully this video you find helpful, interesting. So an update on the Model X. I do have an upcoming service appointment. This time it's for the seats. They notified me saying that they are ready for me to arrive on my appointment. I hope they got the right part. I hope the part's in. I mean, it seems like it is, because they notified me saying that to expect me in my appointment. But I have been talking with some of you about the clicking noise. So I do have some sort of clicking noise again. I'm gonna mention it to them. So be on the lookout also for the Tesla holiday update. There's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of stuff I'm excited for. That MyQ garage update is what I'm excited for, because I can't figure out HomeLink on the Model X. Also, it may save me some money not having to buy the $350 add-on for my Model Y. And then Model Y Performance will finally get track mode, so I'm pretty excited about that. So be on the lookout for that update, and that's pretty much about it. Thank you for watching this video. If you did like the video, please like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And I'll see you in the comments. What do you think about this video? Did I miss any other tips? I did my best to cover as much as I can, but our California winter is not like any other. So yes, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.